The year is 1991, and things are heating up for Michael Jackson, as Team MJ prepared to relaunch him onto the world stage once again with the release of Dangerous. With the musical project came a whole new sound that Jackson hoped would reinvigorate his superstar appeal and establish his reign as the king of pop for the 1990s. However, the new decade signalled evolving tastes in fashion and style, with new rules emerging in the world of show business. The opulence and glamour of 80s excess made way for brazen sex appeal, or contrasted by stark minimalism. Individuality and a signature style played less importance, as the fast-paced nature of manufactured pop proved that music stars were now just as throwaway as the fashion trends hitting the runway. Fashionable stars including Madonna, George Michael, and Jackson's little sister Janet proved to marketers that stars of music were no longer just outlandish figures of rock and roll, but could be utilised to set lucrative trends for a whole new generation of consumers. With this in mind, artists became increasingly sophisticated when it came to their next big fashion statement, as to appear in the dreaded worst dressed list could lead to career self-sabotage. Former underground acts swapped their thrifted creations for designer labels and employed top fashion stylists, makeup artists, photographers and directors as their wealth and commercial influence grew. At the same time, former elitist circles within high-end fashion were crossing over into the mainstream, collaborating with music stars to build global brand awareness and attach themselves to the world's most famous and glamorous of lifestyles. A new landscape emerged, where celebrities were competing with fashion models for the covers of magazines, and in turn, the private lives of, quote, supermodels were filling the pages of celebrity gossip columns. In the 1980s, Michael Jackson proved that video truly killed the radio star with the explosion of music television. The artist's image would play a significant role in marketing his music on this new visual platform. Jackson himself igniting a red leather jacket and single glove fashion craze during the heights of Thrillermania. An artist's fashion forwardness had become its own currency and more closely linked to their commercial viability than ever before. And according to the experts, Michael Jackson's signature look had gone out of style years ago. This was never so evident as during the 1991 Academy Awards, when Michael made a surprise appearance sporting a characteristically Jackson look. A bejeweled blazer, glistening brooches, a heavy buckle belt, and his trademark loose waves. Fashion commentators agreed that although flashy, the look was tired and repetitive, reminiscent of the excessive amounts of sparkle you'd expect during his 80s glory, rather than resembling a modern pop performer. Michael Jackson ran the risk of looking stale and out of touch upon the release of his most ambitious record to date. Fashion icon, pop rival, and date during the festivities, Madonna, made her thoughts known when it came to Michael's ailing fashion sense, stating in both magazine and television interviews that she explicitly told him that he must overhaul his whole look, get rid of the white socks and loafers, and reinvent himself with a bold, much shorter haircut.
There was talk, I believe, that you were going to restyle him. You didn't like the way he looked. What did you have in mind for him?
Well, I really wanted him to cut his hair. I mean, just that, I think sometimes it's good to cut your hair and start all over again.
How short?
That was my main thing. I wanted him to get a really short haircut. And I wanted him to get rid of those loafers, and the white socks. I just thought, just try something new. But,
The master of reinvention herself, Madonna continuously proved her commercial staying power through her constant visual evolution, sustaining the public's intrigue through her many guises. Now a fashion darling, appearing on the cover of American Vogue and in many high-end editorial spreads, Madonna offered up her valuable fashion connections to Jackson, in hopes that they would help him find a whole new sense of style for his next record. Although Michael Jackson may have not been thrilled with Madonna's public statements, it was clear that a change was needed, as a Sky magazine staff writer commented, quote, Michael himself seems to have realised that his clothes are, to be frank, a touch embarrassing. His style is not bad, it's just plain bad. In the spring of 1991, calls were made from Jackson's team to the world's hottest fashion houses, from Isaac Mizrahi to Terry Mugler, Jean-Paul Gaultier to Azzedine Alaïa, Giorgio Armani to Gianni Versace, to just name a few. The proposition was bold, to send in their own custom designs for a, quote, revolutionary new look for Michael Jackson. Gabriella Forte, vice president of Giorgio Armani, acknowledged that Jackson had been in contact. Quote, "It was just for fun," she said. Quote, "Nothing has been seriously discussed or done or put in the works." A spokesman from Gaultier said, quote, "It would be exciting to work with a performer like Michael Jackson, and everybody knows that he's been talking to designers and some directors about his new image." With fashion's most creative minds putting their heads down to devise a whole new look for the world's biggest pop entertainer, many radical ideas were brought into the mix. However, few have surfaced. Although initial designs by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Vivienne Westwood, John Galliano, and Heaven Story were later featured in a Sky magazine spread. Gaultier envisioned a sports-inspired reinvention. In a cropped monogrammed bomber jacket, quote, "You will wear it over a white vest and salmon satin corset, ending a padded quilted codpiece that shines under the spotlights. This will be worn under a chaps type miniskirt and tight leggings. Michael, don't forget the heavy boots." If codpieces, miniskirts and chaps weren't enough, Gaultier's second suggestion took Jackson on a walk on the wild side. Quote, "Transforming you into a wildebeest. Trousers, boots in fake leopard skin with microphone tail, and cape bomber blouson in iridescent nylon with bright feathered collar and a ravishing cat mask to complete this wild look." British designer Vivienne Westwood visualised Jackson as a witch doctor figure, resplendent in a fake fur cloak, over tight red leather trousers and red t-shirt, printed with her trademark smiling cherubs. Quote, "I also imagine he runs around a lot on stage, so the cloak is held together with bows, so you could easily pull bits off to cool down. Ordinarily, I'd finish the outfit off with thigh-high boots, as I'm keen on a touch of femininity for men. However, he might have trouble moving in them." John Galliano decided to give Michael Jackson's famous feet a makeover. Quote, "I wanted a complete transformation for Michael," he said. "Something way over the top. My inspiration for these shoes were quite simply his dancing feet. The shoes are fashioned from glass with images of Michael's illustrious past underneath. The heels are miniature Michaels in gold for extra glamour. The overall effect is very fairy tale, which is how I see Michael. Although very intricate and skilled in its design, it is unclear that Jackson would ever be able to wear, yet perform, in such an elaborately decorated shoe." Newcomer designer Helen Story seemed more concerned with toning Michael Jackson's image down and making him more real. Quote, "I think Michael has this mystic quality that fascinates his audience, but at the same time alienates him. Basically, I would like to make him less freaky and generally happier." Her outfit was inspired by Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Story explains, quote, "The fact that it's plastic gives a futuristic feel. It's also very bright, a reaction against all that negative black he's been wearing for so long." Story was also adamant about what she would love to do to really change Michael's image. Quote, "I'd cut his hair really, really short. The way he has it now, all long and straightened, it's really ghastly. It's all part of his rejection of being black." However, none of these designs ultimately made the cut, as in June 1991, press outlets announced that superstar designer Gianni Versace had won the race to dress Michael Jackson for his new video, album cover, and possibly future tour dates. Michael apparently choosing the path of Bruce Springsteen, Eric Clapton, Sting, George Michael, and other rock stars in making Versace his designer of choice. On the subject of Versace winning the contract, rival designer Galliano commented, quote, "I would love to see Michael dressed in Versace. The women's wear, that is." A Versace spokesman confirmed that a 2-day shoot took place in Los Angeles, as well as a still photo shoot by top fashion photographer Herb Ritts, with all of Jackson's clothes by Versace. During his album promo shoot by famed director David Lynch, Michael Jackson's new revolutionary look surprisingly didn't encompass a radically shorter hairstyle. Despite Madonna's constant calls to just cut it off, Jackson sported a pared back, slicked down style, with his tresses tucked behind his ears, accompanied by his grown-in sideburns. The chosen outfit comprised of a red zip-up shirt with an embroidered black leather jacket. Both may have been designed by Versace, but it is unclear from the few behind-the-scenes shots from the video that ultimately focused on Michael Jackson's eyes rather than his new fashion sense. During Michael's much-anticipated shoot with fashion photographer for the Star's Herb Ritts, Jackson was photographed in a pair of colourful, heavily embroidered Versace pants. But apart from this, it appears that Michael Jackson may have been inspired by the designs presented to him, but ultimately decided to have his own longtime designers, Michael Bush and Dennis Tompkins, create the outfits worn throughout the shoot. This included metallic gold pants with a matching blazer and Cuban heeled boots, as well as a silver version that included a denim style jacket, but was ultimately not photographed. The design duo also created an elaborate all-black leather fencing inspired costume, with quilting detailing on the chest and legs, a design that presumably was adjusted and refabricated for Michael Jackson's Dangerous World Tour the following year. Head-to-toe all-black leather looks appeared to be a theme throughout the shoot, as Jackson ditched his signature embroidered military-inspired ensembles for striking motocross-inspired looks, denoting Michael's fierce, machine-like performance ability, with several other design sketches playing upon this theme. The only custom-made outfits that has surfaced outside of Michael Jackson's collaboration with Tompkins and Bush were created by fashion designer Terry Mugler. Known for his theatrical, star-studded, outlandish runway designs, he too was heavily influenced by motocross design, creating a jacket for Jackson made from cowhide with insert MJ in silver leather on the front and back, with the shoulders featuring chrome motor detailing. The famed designer also created a heavy black leather jacket with extensive trapunto stitching on the sleeves and chest, with additional metal embellishments on the waist, cuffs, chest and shoulders, together with matching leather pants. Each garment contains a label from Terry Mugler Paris, and was created by Mugler for Michael Jackson, especially for him to wear during this photo shoot with Herb Ritts. However, both elaborate design ensembles were ultimately never worn during Michael's much anticipated shoot, possibly due to how restrictive and bulky the items would have been to wear, for a performer known for his sleek, agile danceability. Instead, Jackson pared back in his styling, sporting a sleek back ponytail and a simple cotton vest, monochromatic pants, simple backdrops, and shot in black and white. This became the revolutionary new look the King of Pop was looking for, and it didn't require big-name designers' extra influence. Signalling a change was in the air, and a new era of Michael Jackson befitting of the 1990s was upon us. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please give us a like and follow for more videos like this one. If you would like to support us in the creation of videos that we make, then please consider joining our Patreon for behind the scenes footage, early updates, and much more.